Welcome to this video where we will discuss the escalating tensions between two of the world's most populous nations, China and India. The two countries have been at loggerheads for decades, with multiple disputes over border regions, trade, and water resources. These tensions have resulted in numerous confrontations and skirmishes, with both nations deploying their armed forces to the disputed areas. The current situation is highly concerning, with both nations refusing to back down from their respective claims. India, a regional power with a growing economy, sees China's territorial claims as a direct threat to its sovereignty. China, on the other hand, has been aggressively expanding its influence in the region and sees India as a potential obstacle to its global ambitions. These factors have led to an increasingly tense relationship between the two countries, with no immediate solution in sight. In this video, we will delve deeper into the root causes of the tension between China and India, examining the historical, political, and economic factors at play. We will explore the complex dynamics that have led to this standoff and provide insight into the strategies and motives behind China's actions. We'll also examine the implications of this ongoing conflict for world peace, given that both China and India are major regional powers with significant economic and military influence. The conflict between these two nations has the potential to destabilize the entire region, with potential repercussions felt far beyond Asia. As such, it is important to understand the complexities of this conflict and the broader implications it could have. Throughout this video, we will provide in-depth analysis and expert perspectives to help you better understand the situation between China and India. We'll also explore potential avenues for conflict resolution and examine how the international community can play a role in mitigating the risks of this conflict. So sit back, relax, and join us as we dive into the world of China-India tensions. The clash in Gawan last year was a significant turning point in the tense relationship between China and India. The deaths of the 20 Indian soldiers have left a lasting impact on India, with the country mourning the loss of their brave soldiers. The incident has also led to an outpouring of anger and frustration from the Indian population, who see China's actions as unjustified and aggressive. The Indian government has been forced to take a hardline stance against China, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi vowing to defend Indian sovereignty and territorial integrity at all costs. China's actions in the Gawan Valley have been widely criticized by the international community. Many see it as a blatant violation of India's territorial rights and a challenge to the existing world order. The incident has raised concerns about China's growing military assertiveness and its willingness to use force to achieve its goals. The clash also highlighted the fragility of the relationship between the two nations and the urgent need for diplomatic efforts to resolve the long-standing border disputes. The tension between China and India has not been limited to military conflicts alone. The two nations have been embroiled in a bitter struggle for dominance in the Asia-Pacific region, with both sides vying for control over strategic resources and trade routes. China's Belt and Road Initiative, a massive infrastructure project designed to connect China with countries across Asia and Europe, has been a major point of contention between the two nations. India has been vocal in its opposition to the project, viewing it as a strategic threat to its own interests. The implications of the tension between China and India extend far beyond their borders. The two nations are both nuclear powers, and any escalation of conflict between them could have catastrophic consequences for global peace and stability. The international community has a vested interest in ensuring that tensions between the two nations do not escalate into a full-blown conflict. The ongoing tensions between China and India also have the potential to disrupt the global economy, with both nations being major players in the international trade market. In conclusion, the tension between China and India is a complex issue with far-reaching implications. The clash in Gawan last year was a tragic event that highlighted the fragility of the relationship between the two nations. The international community must take steps to encourage diplomatic efforts to resolve the border disputes and promote peaceful coexistence between the two nations. The stakes are high, and the consequences of any escalation of conflict between China and India could be catastrophic. China's actions regarding the Brahmaputra River have caused India to become increasingly worried. The river is not only a vital source of water, but is also crucial for irrigation and agriculture in India. China's construction of dams and infrastructure to divert the river's flow has been a cause for concern, and India has been urging China to take a cooperative and collaborative approach to resolve the issue. The Brahmaputra issue highlights the complex interplay between water, food, and energy security and their impact on global politics. With China's growing population and economy, it is becoming increasingly challenging to meet the nation's growing water and energy demands. China's water crisis is not just limited to the Brahmaputra issue, but is a much broader problem. The country is facing severe water scarcity, and the situation is getting worse due to climate change and urbanization. The situation is so dire that China's water resources per capita are just 1/4 of the global average. The country has implemented several measures to address the water crisis, such as investing in water conservation and increasing the use of desalination technologies. However, these measures have not been sufficient to meet the nation's growing water needs. Moreover, China's significant reliance on hydroelectric power to generate electricity has created an energy crisis, which could ultimately lead to a food crisis. The government has been investing heavily in hydropower as a renewable energy source, but it has had severe environmental consequences. China has already built over 45,000 dams, which have affected the ecosystem, displaced people, and led to severe environmental degradation. In addition, the construction of dams has also impacted downstream countries, such as India, which relies on rivers originating in China for its water supply. China's actions regarding water resources and the environment have been a significant concern for India and the rest of the world. The complex interplay between water, energy, and food security has created a global crisis, and China's actions are exacerbating the situation. The Brahmaputra issue is just one example of the challenges faced by China and India, and it highlights the need for a collaborative and cooperative approach to address the growing water crisis. The implications of this crisis are far-reaching, and it's crucial that both countries work together to find a sustainable solution. China's actions regarding the Brahmaputra River have been a significant source of concern for India, as it could have severe consequences for the country's water and food security. The Brahmaputra River is one of the largest and most important rivers in India, and it is a lifeline for millions of people living in the northeastern part of the country. The river provides water for irrigation, transportation, and hydroelectric power generation, and it is also a source of livelihood for fishermen and farmers who depend on it for their daily needs. However, China's construction of dams and other infrastructure projects on the Brahmaputra River has led to worries that the water flow downstream could be significantly reduced, which would affect India's ability to utilize the river's resources. This has been a cause for concern for the Indian government and has led to diplomatic tensions between the two countries. India has repeatedly urged China to consider the environmental impact of its actions and has called for transparency and cooperation in managing the shared resources of the river. Moreover, China's actions have not just affected India, but have also had a severe impact on other neighboring countries, such as Bangladesh. The Brahmaputra River flows through Bangladesh before emptying into the Bay of Bengal, and any reduction in water flow could have devastating consequences for the country. Bangladesh is already facing significant water-related issues due to climate change, and the construction of dams and other infrastructure by China could exacerbate the problem. The potential impact of China's actions on the Brahmaputra River is not limited to water resources alone, but also has significant implications for the geopolitical landscape of the region. The Brahmaputra River is a disputed waterway, and any unilateral action by China could lead to increased tensions between the two countries and could even lead to conflict. The Indian government has been closely monitoring the situation and has expressed its concern to China, urging them to resolve the issue peacefully through dialogue and negotiation. China's construction of infrastructure on the Brahmaputra River has created significant concerns for India and other neighboring countries. The potential impact on water resources, agriculture, and the environment could have far-reaching consequences for the region. It is important for China to consider the wider implications of its actions and to work with its neighbors to ensure the sustainable and equitable use of shared resources. In conclusion, the current state of tension between China and India is not only a threat to the two countries, but also to the entire world. The two nations are among the most populous countries on the planet, and any conflict between them could result in a catastrophic impact on global peace and security. The water crisis is not limited to China and India alone. Many countries worldwide are experiencing similar problems, and this has resulted in water scarcity, which is posing significant threats to human lives and the environment. It is a concern that needs immediate attention from the international community. It is worth noting that water resources are not just limited to agriculture and food production, but also have significant economic implications, including energy production, transportation, and industrial activities. Therefore, any conflict between countries over water resources could have far-reaching economic and social impacts beyond food production and availability. To mitigate the tension between China and India, diplomatic solutions need to be explored. Dialogue and negotiations between the two countries are crucial to reach a peaceful resolution. Moreover, countries worldwide need to come together and address the global water crisis through collaborative efforts such as sharing knowledge and technology, promoting sustainable water management practices, and creating a framework to manage water resources fairly. Conflicts arising from water resources, as seen between China and India, pose a serious threat to global peace and security. As such, it is essential for the international community to come together and find peaceful solutions to prevent conflicts and ensure sustainable management of the world's water resources. The consequences of inaction could be devastating, not only for the nations involved, but for the entire world. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and enable notifications for more informative content about today's economy from all over the world. Until next time.